Good evening. Let's choose our pace partner for the night, the warm-up. Quite a few more pace partners to choose from now. Watopia Figure 8 D-Duke. Let's go. Everything's paired up. We're good. Bit of a late evening stream, this one. I hope it all is working. I've changed a few settings here. Maybe a different colour. My camera was turning me blue for some reason before I started, which was a bit concerning. Alrighty, let's roll. Oh, down here! Diego Duke, new pace partner for Zwift, and I'm on a downhill already. Pedal assist ends in 2 seconds. I'm on the Buffalo. Let's go. Let me get my bearings right. We are on the reverse Julian Washington Bridge. There we go. Bonk me anywhere on Watopia, and we'll figure it out. Oh, here's my lovely assistant with some drinks and a Cliff Bar. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Vaughn. Yeah, I'm all good. Oh, I haven't turned my... I'll turn the fans on, that's fine. That one on 2, just crack. Thank you. That's what happens when you start a stream way too early. Hey, chat, how we doing? In chat all night, so just a warm up with the pace partners. The new pace partners, which are constantly changing as they do a few more things more rapidly at Zwift. If you've been reading their forums, a few different routes too. So I'll do a warm up with the pace partner. I'll stop zero the power meters that I'm testing tonight. Holland, welcome along. We have the Netherlands as well. And then a full Llama Lab test without the part at the end, making it almost a full Llama Lab test. And as I'm doing everything here, Q&A, let's go. Let's have a chat about the last week. Much easier for me to answer questions live than in the comments. Hammerhead, oh, how are we going? That's been a bit of fun. We all need a Von. We all need a Von. That's why I'm married to. Ben, look. Good question. And let's go about the radar first. As I said in my video, it does what they intended it to do. But, you know, is that good enough for a 2022 product? So, and there's two sides to that camera as well. Multiple sides. Like the user interface, as we saw with Ray, I didn't even show the app, it was so bad. And you saw it on, if you saw Ray's video on it, DC Rainmaker, it crashed on his video. It would have crashed on mine too, and it still does. It's accessing the camera and the user experience. Losing my voice already. Was horrible. Oh, give me ups or downs on the music too. And Zwift sounds, I want to have those in the background. So the user experience with the camera, and as I said with the button thing, it's really confusing about what it does. So all of the periphery, is that the word, of the usage of it was a headache, and then trying to explain it, holy hell. It was tough. Like, did I have a 25-minute video? What the hell am I doing making 25-minute videos? Never my intention to extend the video or make it too long. My videos are until they're done, until I've got the information that I want to cover out. That just happened to be 25 minutes. I'll have a look at the Zwift sound, thank you. The camera itself though, the camera itself. I can't pick up number plates very easily. I really can't, and there was no BSing that. Zooming in, zooming out, different frames. It's not that great at picking up numbers, unless you're in a perfect scenario, which on the gravel, it was shaky, but the last frame really captured the number plate okay. Given if a car is to ride right up your butt and possibly kill you, it's going to capture the number plate. You're going to be dead, but at least you'd be happy that the number plate's captured. Bigger issues there. Yeah, but there's so many variables as well. And the theory that I had over, so I could talk about this all night, and I probably will if you hang around. Given how the MPEG compression works, I'm guessing, here's some Zwift sounds. maybe. Given how the MP compression works, I was there. Here we go. Hey Maxie, what have you got, buddy? Whoa! Yeah, scary, mate. Where I was testing the camera along the Avenue of Honour here in Ballarat, it's what I'd call a complex scene. Lots of trees, lots of things to draw. So for the bitrate that it was using, it was probably struggling to save all that detail. I had a theory that dropping it back to 720 may make it clearer. It made sense at the time. I'll get to the conclusion. But if I dropped that back to 720 and it had a higher bitrate and didn't... Whoa! That's gone now, mate.
Where'd it go?
That's in that corner. You can't get there.
No, we
it's
can't
gone.
get it.
We'll get it tomorrow, mate.
Oh,
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, buddy.
We'll get it later.
Oh, his little toy just flew over to the corner of the room that he can't get to. Oh, my. That's okay, mate. I'll look after it, okay? Dad is going to look after it, and everyone here in chat will look after it too, okay? You want to come say hello?
No.
Yeah? Where's your little...
That's okay. We'll get it later, mate. Later, mate.
Oh, I'm tempted to try and get... Sorry, little Maxie's toy's gone flying across him. You want to hop up?
No.
All right. Anyhow, sorry, to drop back, the 720 didn't do any good either. The bitrate was still too bad. I've tested 1080 versus 720 with what I call a less complex environment, so a blue screen behind and cars coming from behind. It's a little better. Cameras are tricky. And as you can imagine, even at night, every car approaching you, the lights are going to be a bit different, background's different, vibration's different, so many variables. But I think if you are selling a safety device or claiming it's going to be cool, if you're going to market everything, I do note too in Garmin's marketing, they fuzz out the number plates because I guess for privacy reasons they probably can't show number plates, which is a bit weird, but we get that. It hasn't been that great. Having said that, to put the camera on and just hit go, it captures what it captures. So my whole 104k ride the other day, with the pig and whistle ride, it captured all that. Which is, if you think about it, in 1080, 4 hours of recording, that's not too bad. But that's not too bad for 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Where are we today? And I think that's what Ray and I were agreed upon, that even if it could record in 1080, but have a sensor size of 1440, and then do some stabilization within that. Anyhow, that'll take more battery, etc. We're not quite there yet. I also want flying cars. We're not quite there either. Oh, do you want that little... Do you want it? No, I will though. I don't know, that's going to unplug something here. That's my only concern. Just one moment. I'm going to have to get Maxie's little toy. Hang on. Can I get a... let me get a head start first. Yeah? Let me get a head start. No. I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to... We'll talk about hammerhead and Shimano in a minute. All right, ready? Okay, you watch this live stream go completely south as I try and dive around and get Max's toy. One sec. Nope. I've got it!
Got it.
I got it!
Quick, get up.
Quick.
Get up there.
Quick.
Get up.
Quick!
20 meters. 15.
Oh, Vaughn, you should have zeroed my power meters while I was off. Ah! Oh no!
Go, go, go,
Duke!
go, go, go.
Come back! Jukey boy! Wait up!
Get on that bungee.
Come on, Max, let's go!
Go, go, go.
Come on, thumbs up!
Go.
Little Maxie's doing this. Ooh.
Go, go, go. Go, go. He's gonna
Ah. Ah. Thumbs up.
We'll take this outside.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for the warm up. Oh, other pace partner ride. Oh. That's harder than a Llama Lab Test, but a pretty solid warm up. All right, headwind on. We attended one of Maxie's little friend's birthdays today, so I'm also burning off some sugar from that. I wish Max would burn off some sugar too. It's one of the toys that he got from the birthdays. It's gone flying. Okay, back on topic. Apologies if I've missed any of your comments. Let me go back through. So look, in summary, the RCT715, I will continue to use it. I really hope they polish that user experience. The camera is what it is. When I capture an event, you can guarantee you I'll be going pretty hard on the fact that if it captures the event properly or not. Von goes out and rides with a group of ladies. They had someone come past tooting the horn for no reason at all and just being obnoxious. That's the kind of shit that I want to grab and go through. If the camera cannot capture or quickly identify people doing that kind of thing or hurling a bottle out of a car, then the camera is no good. You're going to get make and model and color under most conditions. It's quite difficult though to pick a number plate given. However, if we say it's excellent, if we say it's great, then it's going to be another 4 or 5 years until something better comes out. Not good enough now. Let's, all I can be is a voice to advocate for better products. Having said that, I'm not using it. 515 is still brilliant. The radar itself, somebody asked, is the radar worth it? Sean, if you can borrow one, take it out for a ride and make up your own mind with that. For me, the first time I put one on the bike, I was like, is that really correct? I'm looking behind, go back and watch my video and I'm like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then even at the end of the video, I'm riding around the lake talking to the camera saying, okay, there's 1 car back, 2 cars back, I've turned around, 2 cars back, bang. Brilliant. There's all these little scenarios with using the radar you'll never get until you've used it yourself. One, for example, when there's 2 cars back and you're coming into a roundabout, in Australia, they're really great at inconveniencing cyclists by putting a bike lane right up to the roundabout and then putting it straight into the traffic. We don't have a little slip lane for bikes. We go back in with the cars at most roundabouts. So for the scenario being, if I'm riding up, I can look down, okay, I know there's a car back. I'll always do a head check anyway. And the headphones that I have on are not so loud that I can't hear traffic. It's sort of conversation loud. Oh, we're going up the com, sweet. This is cool, so we have pace partners up. A lot more varied terrain. So coming into a roundabout, you'll do a quick head check and maybe you'll just even look over your hip. Okay, car there. You wait for that car to pass and you'll have to step out. Here in Australia, you've got to step out into the... But if there's 2 cars, if you look back and you see one and you think, okay, I'll step out in front of the other car, typically you'll be going slow anyway. But if you can look down and go, okay, well, there's 2 cars there. I'm not going to step out. There's all these little... You have to get used to using it. But yeah. Also, if I'm out riding solo, gravel road, something's coming behind me, I can turn around, give the car behind me a ton of room, maybe even get off the road. If there's a single lane road, some of the farm roads I'm on a single lane, I'll get off the road. Legally I don't have to, but I also don't have to be a prick sitting on the road making a truck go on the dirt, if I've got the time. All the little stuff. So for me, yeah, the radar, even from the RTL500, the original radar, brilliant for the riding I do. In town, where cars are the norm, not the exception, probably no good. It's just going to beep all the time. Even around the lake here in Ballarat, Lake Wendouree, 6 kilometres, circular lake. It's just beeping all the time, so it gets a bit the radar that cried wolf. But for, yeah, if you can borrow one, if you can borrow a friend's, look at all the reviews. There are 2 types of people in this world, people who love their radar and people who don't have one yet. There's also people who have mirrors, and I respect that, that's okay. But For me, what I do, I cannot praise them enough. Anyhow, big weekend for the Giro, big night for the Giro. Big night. Sweden, welcome along. The world is ending for Max. I can hear it, he's playing with it now. Little flying disc. Four Eyes. Well, guess what I'm testing tonight? And guess who releases a firmware on a Saturday night? Four Eyes, what are you up to? Got on the bike tonight. That's what I'm testing. That's where I'll crack into the Lama Lab Test with once I'm warmed up. Although that little sprint I had to do then is a warm up. Hanging out here with one of the new pace partners. One of many new pace partners. What action cam? Okay, for action cam, image stabilization, nothing beats the GoPro. Just phenomenal. Jump over to my main channel, which is this one, my main list of videos for my Llama rides I posted the other day, where I come into a gravel section of road and I just filmed the whole 11 minutes or so. You can see the RTL on the back, shaking around, the GoPro on the front, which was the GoPro 8. It's 2 generations older than the current GoPro. Crystal smooth. Crystal smooth, crystal clear, buttery smooth, all in one. Crystal smooth. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? The Herald Sun used to sponsor a cycle race, or still do, I think. Jai Hindley, oh man, no, I don't think he'd be able to claw back those 3 seconds. Though, I mean, I'd love to see another Aussie win a Grand Tour, but we'll watch. We'll watch. Joshua Edge 1000 died using Phoenix 7, finding it difficult to justify a new Edge unit. The 1030s and 1030 Pluses I think are on sale. They're on sale at the moment. Currently using a 1030 Plus on front here for my recording. Yeah, I've been happy with it. When there's a sale on Garmin's like that, it's usually for a reason. Last Aussie winner, Evans, yep. Eddie Cadell back in, was it 2011? Or 7? I'm getting old, I'm losing time. Come on, Danny Draft. And Diego, oh! So we have 2 pace partners now duking it out behind me. Let's have a look at these guys before I get stuck into the Llama Lab. Oh, great shot. Full screen that. Okay, so here's what we have at the moment. Diego Draft, and we have another pace partner coming up behind, so I can drop between. Looks like Diego's going a little faster. That was a great camera angle, wasn't it? To show them both. If I can go back through, I can have a look. I'm not quite sure where. Okay, so Danny Draft is on 2.4. And Diego's on 1.8. Perfect. So I'll just hang out with Danny as my warm-up. Perfect. So I've jumped from one pace partner to the next. Both new pace partners at different zones. Woohoo! I have dropped the pace partner. It's not too hard to. Now we can keep up with this one and a few others. Here we go. Haven't quite tweaked my front derailleur after changing cranksets tonight, so watch out. We could throw a chain in a sprint. Questions. If I miss any of your questions, please repost. Um, 1030 Plus sale on Garmin website. I'm not sure if Garmin themselves have the sale. Shop around. Ray usually has some good links to stuff. I don't usually keep track of Amazon links and other affiliate things much anyway. There's a few Amazon links and things in my videos, but not a lot. Jump over to Ray's website, dcrainmaker.com, and usually has all the latest deals. What would be the most basic, cheapest head unit to get my mitts on? Nothing more than dual recording to compare power meters. Lee, good question. let's go down the rabbit hole there. If you've already got an existing head unit and you want a second head unit for dual recording, please get the same kind of head unit, because every head unit averages things a bit differently. They will record the start and stops a little differently, and then your overall average will be different even on the same power meter from two different brand head units. The Karoo units hold watts a little bit more. Zwift has the sticky watts. So if you're dual recording with Zwift, you can't really look at the overall power averaging. I know Zwift Power does. For what I do, I can't do that. It's not accurate enough. So for what I do, it's all edge units, all on about the same software level, because I'm guessing the code of how they talk amp plus power is all about the same, and how they poll the meter and how they average things out. So it needs things to line up. Have a look back at my Brighton video, which I did get confirmation from Brighton this week when I was talking to them about the Shimano thing. The hammerhead / Shimano, I was talking to a few companies about that and if they've been impacted by it. And Brighton have confirmed they're working on, or have resolved somewhat, the sticky watts that I had where you were pedaling, it'd hold watts for a few seconds and then drop off. And that screws data comparison. So in summary there, if you could pick up if you're running a Garmin at the moment, pick up maybe one generation back, second hand, maybe. For my dual recording, it's a 1030 plus, 1030, and a 830 on the front. I have a 530 as well. All same generation-ish. Any interesting products coming up soon? That I can talk about. Yes, that's a good qualifier. Nothing that I am as excited about as hearing that the radar had a camera. That was exciting until we got some hands on. Nothing exciting as when I heard for Vero we're going SPDSL, until I got the pedals and found out they were a little wider than I'd like. Those are the kind of things that I do get excited about. Nothing like that. AirTags came out of the blue. How about AirTags? They're brilliant. Hey Gplama. Questions? My take on the hammerhead news. Not surprising. Look, the more I think about what's going on, the weirder it gets from the Shimano side of things. Shimano are a mega corp. Let's get that straight first. I did say that they're punching down on a smaller company. Yes, Hammerhead are owned by SRAM. Have a look at the financials. Shimano are a mega corp. SRAM are a smaller corp. They don't need to punch down like that. What else can I qualify? And as a mega corp, you've got a PR department. You've got a legal department. You've got a media department. You've got departments. You've got multiple departments. Hey Shimano, speak up. Speak up. The wording of the press release from Hammerhead was quite damning. It really was. Hammerhead, in summary, was saying, we've had access, we wanted to continue having access and supporting Shimano grip sets. They wouldn't talk to us. There's probably more to it than that, but it's entirely up to Shimano to clear the air, to come out. Now, if you're as big as Shimano, you've got a PR department that can make you look rosy even if you're being assholes. That's their job. Is there a shortage of PR supply? Like what? I don't get it, and it's a soft skill. It's not as if there's a crankset waiting in a factory to be shipped before a press release comes out. Holy hell, get on the emails. Sort this shit out. Hammerhead have played the underdog. The feedback, I had around 12 hours, 18 hours or so between finding out the news and the embargo of that news lifting. I have no doubt that Shimano knew that Hammerhead would be communicating that and communicating their position. Not my thing. PR, marketing, that kind of shit. I ride bikes. Not my thing, but why can't a megacorp be ready for that? Why couldn't they have a statement saying, yes, we've terminated the agreement for XYZ reasons, etc. There's a few people saying that they can understand it because it gives Hammerhead access to proprietary Shimano gearing information. I don't believe it does. If it does, they've already got access and they've already seen it. If it does, it should be protected by patents, therefore they can't copy it anyway by law. If it does, it's entirely on Shimano for not locking things down. This is just a sensor. To distill it down, this is just a sensor pairing, all over a sensor pairing to get rider data. It is bigger than that when you sort of take 3 steps back. That's really what we're talking about. This has nothing to do with the operation of the group set. It's nothing to do with their wireless protocol from their new levers that talk to the rear derailleur. Nothing to do with that. It is not that protocol. Just like SRAM won't give the Axis protocol to Shimano for their levers. It's not that. I could have gone on for a lot longer than what I did explaining what it actually is. Ray did a good job as well. I touched on it. Ant versus Ant Plus, private keys, etc. At the moment, Shimano's looking pretty bad. And remaining silent also gives weight to what Hammerhead have said. If they come out and said, oh, the correction is... I can't even come up with a reason. So, another thing I thought of as well, and again, I've been tossing ideas around. I'm too invested in this, even though it's not my problem. I'm actually an end user that's impacted by this. Look at my ride yesterday, I was using the Hammerhead. With Di2. If you're riding a bike for accessibility reasons, a hand cycle, or whatever, and you've chosen Di2 and you're using the D-Fly buttons to change pages because you can't touch the freaking device. That's what you've chosen. Shimano have gone, you know what? You're not going to do that now. See you later. That's for the page change. Come on. Come on, I've said it in a few comments. Somebody's responsible for this. This is not an automatic revocation of an SSL certificate or anything like that. Somebody has chosen, had woken up and chosen to battle that day. That's what's happened. They could have, without a doubt, put users first and sorted out their corporate shit in the background. Maybe charge them some money. No money's been mentioned in this. There's a lot of speculation, all of which could be tidied up a lot by Shimano actually putting out some communication on this. Them remaining silent, not a good look. Not a good look. A lot of strong reaction to this. It's the most popular Hammerhead content I've ever done. I think same with Ray. So, which is good for the channel. However, I don't know. There's many ways to skin this. Many ways to skin this. They could turn around and say, and I hope they turn around and say, oh, given the backlash, given the scenarios we now know where people are using these, and can I again focus on accessibility where people are using the buttons to change screens because they might not have access to touch it. Tandems, as I said, hand cycles. Like, bigger picture, Shimano, for fuck's sake. Sorry, swears on a Saturday night. It's frustrating. For someone who covers that kind of technology and tells everyone how awesome it is and does videos on how to set things up. Israel team will be affected. Yeah, maybe. Like, you can still ride a bike. It's just simply one sensor. That's it. But... Northern Ireland, welcome along. On the hidden buttons on the top of your Tegra Di2, do you configure that via the Shimano app? Yes. So Neil, those buttons have to be assigned D-Fly channels. I believe on the Tegra Di2, I'm not quite sure with the new stuff, I've still got it in a box here, which I'm really looking forward to installing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-Shimano for their group sets. I'm on one right now. I've got the Tegra on my other bike. I've got a brand new Tegra Di2 group set that I purchased a couple of weeks back. It's great stuff. I just won't be able to use it with the Hammerhead for now. You configure the buttons within the Shimano eTube app as D-Fly channels 1 through 4, and most head units will interface with channels 1 and 2 by default. And with those you can do single press, double press, and press and hold. So one button has 3 functions. So single press usually swaps screens, double press might go back, or might tag a lap, or you can even configure what those buttons do, but they need to be configured as D-Fly channel buttons. Froome had shares in Hammerhead, possibly being bought out once the SRAM acquisition took place. Froome also shoved those things up his nose and told us we'd get more watts too, so he was also selling some NFT artwork that wasn't NFT, but it was some kind of... Just ask questions of what anybody's pimping. Including me. Ask questions. Go for it. I'm here. Dowsett's an interesting cat. He uses rotor... he uses power to max wherever he can. Where the sponsorship's not involved, Dowsett will always bounce back to power to max rather than Shimano or rotor. Look very closely at the hour record stuff. He didn't mention the power meter at all, I don't think. Any cool Zwift clubs to join? No, I've been outdoors a lot. Zwift Insider Club has been going gangbusters. I think they have a race in a couple of hours too. Lee, my first attempt at installing tubeless. Look, I've totally changed on that now that I have a few years more experience in installing tubeless. I have an air compressor. If you're going to do tubeless on road bikes, get an air compressor. If you're going to do tubeless on EVs, get an air compressor. You need one. And I also realise it's about the quality of the tyre that you use, and also how to seat the tube. I've put on lots and lots of tubeless tyres now without a problem. All right, we're half hour in. I better get this Llama Lab Test underway, which is erg. I've dropped the pace part and they're long gone. Well, I took a wrong turn. All right, Llama Lab Test, let's get it done. First of all, I've got to get off the bike and zero the meters. Asioma Duo split to Uno. So left only, and the new 4Eyes P3 with the latest firmware. Pedal power meters you don't need to put at 6 and 12 because they could be anywhere in space. Crank power meters do need to be 6 or 12. So there's no torque on those from the pedal. Sensors AS Duo calibrate, even though it's Uno. If you split a set of Unos into Duos from Favera into Unos, it'll retain the same anti-D on the left. So if you've called it something, it will retain the same name, but the right will just go missing. And it will automatically double the power. And you have single-sided Asiomas. Alright, done. Cool, cool. Now it's hard, or more difficult, to compare a single-sided meter to a smart trainer because a smart trainer is total power. That's why it's always wise, so I found it wise. Hang on, I'll just lap this. I always found it wise to use a single-sided pedal meter up against a single-sided Shimano or whatever, single-sided crank, and the smart trainer is control. Because left-right balance. Alrighty. Straight chain line. Crank set at the moment is a 3652. Gearing will be somewhere mid-cassette on the back. And smooth. Alrighty. Let me delay a little bit more before I get stuck into erg. Answer a few questions. Is the lack of 9200p on cranksets of Pro Peloton due to them still being unavailable? Yeah, unavailable, because if there were 9200 cranksets out there, and a lot of them, we'd see 4Eyes pumping them out, and Stages, and who else do stick-on power meters? In Peak, Magicshine were doing stick-on meters to those. Do I ever get clob duct valves? No, David, I haven't. I never pump the tyre up or release any air at 6 o'clock. You do it at 9 or 12. Hey, peace partners. And the Markov valves are really cool as well. If you're using Markov valves, they're really wide. Gavin, if you're still within the 45-day, just hold your horses. To be honest, Shimano don't give a shit that I exist or whatever I say. They may listen to Ray, maybe. I'm sure they've probably heard what we've said. But as for to get a multi-billion-dollar corporation to steer the ship in a different direction, I hope we've had some influence on that, and they can reverse their policy change for Hammerhead, because there's no reason for anyhow. I'd hold on to it for a few days. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Hammerhead. I really aren't. If you're a long player and you've been around the channel watching my content, I'm not the biggest fan of it. There's some features that it has that I absolutely love. It's not my first go-to unit, but I'm also not going to sit back and go, oh, Shimano, what are you doing? Because what next? Yeah, if that sets a precedent in the industry for, let's just say Wahoo, I'm not going to throw Wahoo under the bus here, but what if they say, okay, our power meter is only going to work with our head units? That's not good. It doesn't. It works with all head units. What happens when, if Shimano do bring out their own head unit? Do you think SRAM would want to pair to it? Like, do we get into pissing matches like that? It's not. It's not customer first. It's not. A lot of people say they understand it, but it's not customer first business. Not good. All right, erg mode. Ah. Just got RAM. It's RAM. Ah. I thought you took up farming. Best head unit? It depends what you want to do. Best overall head unit for nerds and data collection and sensor pairing. It's obviously the Edge range, because they support everything, and the Connect IQ ecosystem allows you to pair any sensor, body temperature sensor, the core valves, and it records all that data too in the fit file. So for me to analyze tire pressures, temperature, body temperature, everything, it's the Edge units that have the industry wrapped up. They are so complex in what they do, and they are the most complete. They also are pretty good on let me get into this erg mode. They're also very good on the standards side of thing, given that Garmin own Ant and Ant Plus. I won't open that can of worms that Garmin could turn around to Shimano and revoke their Ant license. That'd be fun. But it depends what you want to do. If you want to do, hey Tony, welcome along. If you want to do Climb Pro, just riding along, Hammerhead have that nailed. Absolutely nailed. Watch my video on the Hammerhead. It's called Predictive Path. It blew me. That was one of the things where I went, oh wow, this actually works. And where it doesn't, where it chooses the road that you're not going to be riding, it's still interesting information to have on the screen to know that, okay, I'm only going halfway up this climb, but that's the climb information for the next 200 meters, 100 meters, etc. It's brilliant. Hammerhead do that very well. 520 still works fine, yep. 530, yeah. Look, it's funny, it gets into a bit of a, not a religion, but people feel strongly about their head units, when I think most people just want GPS, sensor pairing, and they want to be able to upload to Strava, and I think almost every head unit does that. Oh, did I mention sensor pairing? Yeah, well, there's a few catches there too. There's no one size fits all though. If you're just joining, Saturday night here, party night obviously, doing some Llama Lab testing. We have the new 4 Eyes P3 firmware, which I've been hanging for. Been getting weekly updates from 4i saying, we're almost there, we're almost there, we're almost there. I had a review ready to go out months and months ago, and they dropped the new firmware a few hours prior. The review, let's just say, was in line with all my other reviews this week. That's the drift. So given that released a new firmware that could possibly change all of that, I couldn't release a video that was outdated, which was a bit shit, because that was a day or two's work and a lot of rides in that review. But that's just the way it goes. Companies can change things pretty quickly with firmware, and that's cool if they can. So that's where we're at. New firmware on the 4Is tonight. Single-sided. I'm trying to keep balance, but doing my best. Would I recommend to kick a climb? If you haven't got one, and then you use one for a while and then take it away, you want it back. It's one of those things. If you've never had it, you won't miss it. If I had a stable setup that was always the same, yeah, I'd go a kick a climb. If I was on a core or a compatible kicker unit. A little tricky to put a bike on and off though. If you're doing it all the time, you have to remove the front wheel and the back. So lining those things up is a bit of a pain. But other than that, not a bad thing. Better mapping for exploring on the gravel bike. 1030 plus. I think for the gravel trails around here, now this is going to be area specific too, depending on where they get their mapping data from. 1030 plus wins for the weirdness of the roads around here. And in the Creswick Forest, if you follow my Strava or my Instagram, you'll see me in Creswick Forest quite a bit. The maps, just doing a follow your nose, follow the map visuals rather than planning around through the Creswick Forest. It's easier with the 1030 plus. That's for screen size. 530, 830 the same. The Bolt 2, however, isn't too bad. I found the Bolt 2 better than the Roam for the mapping. I think they do it different in colours for the gravel stuff. But it's... What are you doing? Oh, you're dropping out. Okay, no worries. But if you can grab one and test one, or if you've got a friend with a unit you're looking at buying, just look over their shoulder or look over their handlebars and do a side-by-side comparison. Heading up. What's the heart rate? 156. Oh, Jesus. Well, 250 is going to kill me. I've had a few solid days off the bike, getting over what a lot of other people have had in recent times. But knocked out the 104k ride the other day on the gravel bike and then backed it up with the Mega Pretzel on Thursday. Mega Pretzel will probably be harder, but I did have 2 conference calls, about 10 emails, and what else? I was putting out a few spot fires, all on a Zwift ride. It was great. I wasn't as productive out on the road, on the gravel. Yeah, little Llama's 2.5 and at daycare, so whatever goes through daycare, he brings home and shares. Oh, we're going reverse comm. Can I turn? I can. There we go. We'll go somewhere different. Markov have reached out, and to their credit, They Lenny, let's have a chat about Markov. They've reached out. They said, hey, thanks for the review. I'm sure they said that through gritted teeth. They want to call next week. Which is fine by me. I mean, it was an alloy, a solid metal AirTag holder that blocked the signal. There we go. I could have done the video in 5 seconds. But in fairness, I gave that thing every chance to work. I gave it too many chances. Testing with the script, field testing, literally on a baseball field, and lost and found out in the wild. And it failed in all of those. On the flip side, if they have a product that does work well, they'll get an equal amount of time and of my attention of something I think is cool. But it's funny, it's a lot of my personal time put into that testing. It's not just 9 to 5. But I'm now the attitude of pissing a few people off and a few companies off isn't my goal, but it's the cost of doing business. So a lot of people have, it's not to bitch and moan too hard, it's very, very interesting, the social side of what I do. Apparently I am dishonest and short-sighted in regard to my Shimano video yesterday. My reply back was, I read the press release. What the fuck's dishonest about that? And I had my own personal opinion on it as well, because I'm the end user who's affected by that. It's also not gone unnoticed, or it hasn't gone unnoticed, that a few media places have not covered this hammerhead / Shimano news article. This shit's hot like fire. Look at Ray's views, look at my views, look at the comments. Yet a number of large organisations haven't covered it. I suspect they're waiting to hear back from Shimano. The other point is they're also running Shimano ads. There's the explanation there. 8100 rebuild, it's still in the box. It won't be for a week or two, probably more than 2. Go Vulcan now. But I think there's a way to cover if you're a Shimano sponsored site, there's ways to cover the news factually. I added some colour to it because I'm affected by it. Anyhow, I hope they just reverse it. Wilson, you nailed it, yeah. That's how would it work for private, same brand, PM and same head unit only? I think that's what SRM have used in the past, and I believe that's what Shimano, using Pioneer's old technology, are doing with their new pedal metrics. They switched to Ant Private, so it's they've got some more attributes to grab. The industry could turn around to Shimano and say, stick your pedaling vectors up your ass. Oh, sorry, it's late Saturday here. You'll get Llama Live. Thoughts on that? Who are the head units that support that? I think Garmin and Wahoo could turn to Shimano and say, we're not going to support your proprietary shit. Do it open or fuck off. And it'd be nice if companies did more of that. Case in point, for open standards, I've ridden trainers on Zwift in erg mode that Zwift don't even know exist. I've been sent pre-production units in the past that support ANT plus FEC and Bluetooth FTMS. I run through the Lama Lab Test with no problems using a program that doesn't know they exist. That's what standards are for. I rest my case. Free Johnny Depp. I'm not really technically taking a break from road. Gravel allows me to get out and not dance with trucks and cars. That gives me a lot more terrain to ride. There's more gravel roads here than sealed roads. And a lot of the tech that I'm looking at also works on gravel bikes. So head units, I can do all that testing on a gravel bike. Applies exactly the same for road. Power meters, pretty much the same. What else? And there's more happening on the gravel bike side of things. It's more fun. So that's why I've been on the gravel bike a lot. Road ride yesterday. On the road bike today. Oh, buffalo bike. Leave it dirty. There we go. Leave it dirty, but make sure the chain is clean. Wax chains on a gravel bike. The whole new frontier for me. I have a bag of super secret hot melt about 2 centimeters from my foot now. Slane loves the gravel, yep. Just more options. Radar still works on gravel bike. Stash, what are you getting? What gravel bike? Let us know. Oh, 173 at 250. Guess whose fitness is down the drain? Hi, I'll be your host. Puffing away. Yeah, lots of choice with gravel. Morning, Portugal. Welcome along. Grizzle. Nice one. And one fun thing about gravel is tyre type, tyre pressure, and tyre size are all variables you can play with. So I've been riding my 650Bs for the last 4 weeks. That's fun. But I put on the 700Cs and they're fast. So I rarely have 2 wheel sets for a road bike. I used to have training wheels and race wheels, but that didn't change much. 650B at 22 PSI versus say 700C 40mm tyre at 35. It's a different experience. So switching things up with a straight wheel change is kind of cool. Oh, look at my damn heart rate at 250. Jesus. Today's soundtrack's brought to you by Post My Roan. 700 by 45, that's big. That's big. Hey Maxie. Oh, you've got an apple. It's A for apple, that's right, Max. Good job, mate. Is there any worms in the apple? It's made of plastic? Yeah. Everything's made of plastic today. It's made from apple. It's made from apple, mate. It's made of plastic, okay. Oh, my legs feel like they're made of plastic, mate. Are they? Oh, you're so special. Thanks, mate. Love you. Little llama. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I have no problems with hookless. They scared me a little early on. I've been riding hookless on the road and on gravel, and I've smashed a hookless rim and being able to limp home with a tube. So I'm sold. They work for me. I also understand that you're limited in tyre choice and pressures. Was it 72.5 or 73.5 5 bar by the ETRTO standard? 650Bs, no, not twitchier at all. They're sluggier. A lot more contact patch. I'm running 48mm tyres, I think, on the 650Bs. But that's what you want. More grip on the road or the gravel. You can get close by running really, really low pressures in 700Cs, but then you risk damaging a rim. Benefit of hookless on the manufacturer side. Watch Francis Cade. Francis's video yesterday. Bit of a clickbait thumbnail about, are these dangerous? Everything's dangerous. Shit, walking out your front door is dangerous. But he covers the theory of what hookless are. The guy he interviews says the benefits. And one big benefit is the manufacturing of them. That's quite interesting. Are they stronger? Well, the rock that I hit didn't indicate so, but I haven't got a side-by-side comparison with a hooked rim. Doesn't make it really easy to install a tyre. Air compressors make any tyre easy to install. Tufo, is it Tufo? Tuffo? Haven't seen them. Well, I haven't used them. I just switched to some Pirellis. The hard pack. Is it Centuro? Send something or other. Latex tubes are better, yes. Proven. Latex tubes are about, depending on the combination, I think you can look at about 2.5 watts savings on average. Asterisk disclaimer, variables, bicyclerolling-resistance.com is where you want to go. Is there a power meter that won't break your bank account? You can buy a power meter that won't break your bank account, but it will break your mind knowing if it's accurate or not. So spend the money once and ride. Sprint time. Peak power on the power meter test here. Buy once, cry once, it's away. Oh, we're not even halfway up the volcano. Let's not even bother. I mean, anyway. A lot of testing going on in the background. I switched back to 1241's not bad. I switched back to my D0 dub on the gravel bike the other day that I started off with the gravel bike. Numbers are bang on. So for a power meter that just works for me and what I do, D0 dub, Quark, bang, I can trust it. Mostly. There's always room for correction. The change going to get the 2 tyres on a bike test. Hang on, wait, what? What gear? That's the 52 on the front, and that would have been something low on the back. Gearing depends on the flywheel speed and the trainer and how it reacts. I'm on a Dorado XR, which isn't too bad. Again, Dorado XR, erg mode performance, there you go, bang on, nice and smooth. Does the job. No tweaks on the smart desk, it's still in front of me here. I still love it, I use every component. We have the the Google Home, the powered USB, more power at the side, the towel hang. Temperature, it's currently 22 degrees in the Llama Lab at 63% humidity. Have the quad lock holder there, keyboard. It's all good. Definitely worth, if you're spending time indoors, it's definitely worth setting up your environment. It just makes it a lot easier to jump on and go. So even still beside me, I have another table beside me. So I have a table in front, keyboard and things, microphone just beside, and still a side desk for drinks, computers, phone, other things. If you had one desk that did the whole lot, it'd be too big. So just customize things up. Power meter pedals, Robert, have come a long way. And the reason why power meter pedals I think are so popular is one, they're accurate and reliable for the most part, and you can buy them in a small box, no bigger than a shoebox. A spider power meter, you're going to have to take that into a bike shop or take apart your crank, check out your bottom bracket compatibility. Well, there's a lot more investment than just the money side of things for going a spider. Or crank isn't too bad. Running the 4eyes P3 on the left hand side here. It's not too bad to install, but I mean, pedals are just, very, very easy. Yes, headwind in front of me still. So Wahoo headwind. I don't use any of the smarts other than to connect via Bluetooth. When I first start riding, I don't have it on. I then open the app and then use the manual control. So I need to turn that up. I do it via the app. I also have over to the side a little Vornado fan just on my legs, just to mix things up. 10 seconds and we're into, okay, more erg. Here's the 20-second over and unders. If you've seen me do power meter reviews, this is that. The headwind is one product that is just, when it came in for review, it just sat there and hasn't moved. It moves air, not itself. 300. Power drops isn't Wi-Fi, or power drops isn't internet. Power is between the bike and your Zwift machine. I'd take a guess that it's Wi-Fi interference or something like that. Patrick, you in the settings of your Stages bike, switch the power meter option to Bluetooth connectivity, so the Stages bike itself connects to the power meters over Bluetooth. If you haven't done that already, see how that goes. Currently on my old Giant with Shimano Di2 and a Dorado XR as the control at the moment for erg. Look at that, 350, whoosh, not bad. It takes a few seconds to settle, and then it hits the zone. Ready for the 450s? Oof. Noel, if you split them into the Unos, and you can compare the Uno to the Precision. So rather than comparing apples and oranges, you can compare apples and apples. It's exactly what I'm doing now. I have a set of Duos, split into the Uno. Ugh. Hang on. So when I look at the data, I'm not worrying about what's left and right balance and how that impacts. I can just compare the pedal and the crank. The train is just along for the ride. One more. Hooah, let's go. Try and maintain the same cadence through these. Boom. All right, that's live. Overs and unders that I talk about all the time in the power meter reviews. They're only short. They test a few things. Hang on. And so only very, very small. But they test a trainer's ability to change zones from 150 to 350 and stabilize, and back down 150 to 450 and stabilize. That's quite a big jump. And then back down. So I test erg mode responsiveness, smoothness. Can it peg that and hold it where it should? Or is it always searching for that? You're over, you're under, you're over, you're under. Humans are horrible. Even being smooth, humans are horrible at. We're not motors. Just maintaining just constant pressure on the pedals. We pedal like this, so that the system's always chasing. Anyhow, let's. I'm not doing the next part. I don't need that because I'm not testing the trainer. The next one's a flywheel speed test, where I hold 225 watts and change the flywheel speed. And if you've seen my other reviews, the trainers behave very differently depending on their flywheel speeds. There's usually an optimal working zone for erg. You may have heard me talk about this quite a bit before. If you're doing erg mode, for the best response, use the small ring on the front, mid cassette on the back. That's for the best erg control response. It may not be the best training for the inertia and exactly what you're specifically training for, but for the best erg control, that's it. And that's because the flywheel's at the sort of a pace that it can grab the resistance for. If you spin the flywheel at say 60 or 70 k's an hour, it starts winding up and then it's not going to be able to grab that resistance as the flywheel's ripping past it. There we go. There's me picking up Max's toy. Zero offset there. 200 into 250, nice and smooth. Sprint, overs and unders, and we're not going to worry about the rest. So, time to chill. All done. Mostly all done. Patrick, you can change bike. That will affect that. The Buffalo bike is slow, so you'll be able to tweak that probably plus or minus 0.1 or 0.2 of a watt per kilo, maybe. Give it a shot if you've got the crappy Zwift bike. And so if C is too easy, jump on C with a mountain bike. I know it feels weird riding a mountain bike virtually to slow yourself down, but at the end of the day, inside is hours and powers. It's about effort and time, not really distance. No, I don't use a rocker plate. I've done many reviews on rocker plates and done a few big in-depth dives into rocker plates. For me, they don't feel like riding a bike. They give a bit of wiggle, I respect that. I can see that people do love them, that's cool. But another thing is, with so many things coming in and out of the Llama Lab, they're just too big. They're just too big. If I was to use the Tax Neo, I'd probably put the feet on it, even to sprint, because you can still sprint with it. It's a bit awkward, but that's, it's a bit of difference to back and forward. There you go. See with the gravel bike. Bingo. Good job. That's I always think Buffalo bike is a slow one, or mountain bike, but a gravel bike is probably right in the center. I like that call. I should do some testing on that. We could do some Zwift tips or something, isn't it? That's a good idea. What if I join Coco Cadence with a gravel bike? What's my average for say 10 minutes? Or one lap of whatever Coco's doing. Switch to maybe a TT bike, etc, etc. Thank you, Jamie. Let's give you a ride on, buddy. I already have. How did that work? Oh, pace partner. Pace partner, pace partner, pace partner. Which one? And which direction? This direction. Which pace partner? Is it Coco? Yay! Oh, just like old times. That's convenient. It's like a bunch ride coming past you as you're cooling down for a ride. Let's jump on. Good timing. I'm glad it wasn't an A group going past. Let me just cool down and chill out at 4.2 watts a kilo. What's my opinion on the Zwift bike, Zwift wheel smart bike trainer concept? My opinion's been put on ice, just like their plans for the hardware. The concept from what I saw was very interesting. It addresses a few problems with compatibility across bikes and things like that. It actually, the theory, the concept they had would have been something new, introducing, well, from what I could work out, introducing almost smart bike virtual gearing in a combo with a wheel thing. It was something different. If Zwift don't do it, maybe another trainer company will. So they might put their plans on hold, but I hope they've got their concepts wrapped up in patents. Or not, if they're not going to make it. Who knows? We need to see something new. It was outside of the square thinking. We've not seen any new trainers in the last few years, in the last few good years. Smart bikes are around, yep. We've got the Climb, we've got the Elite Riser. But I'm not sure anything much could change for the ride feel and the realism, but you never know. MW, give it a shot. If you can test ride a rocker plate, a lot of people swear by them. I swear, but not by them. Will there be a Wahoo version 6 soon? Don't know. We haven't seen much of a change from the Wahoos from what, the Kicker 18 with the bigger flywheel, I think it was, and the rear pivoting axle. We have direct connect support. Will they build that direct connect support in rather than have an adapter? Don't know. I would like to see smart trainers become smarter. I'd like them to be on Wi-Fi. Direct connect with the Kicker 5 and the Kicker roller is very, very close. Well, actually, it does put them on Wi-Fi if you set it up like that. But smart trainers need to be a connection hub rather than go through Zwift's Bluetooth on Windows. Ugh. No, Chris, Zwiftcast, that's done and dusted. Recorded the last episode and that's it. I think Zwift still want someone to carry it on. I don't think in that format you could even try and replicate what Simon did. Simon was a true pro in his production, his silky smooth voice, and his ability to deal with, and one thing I find hard doing podcasts, is the time delay across, when you do video conferencing, you're always sort of breaking into somebody and talking over someone and trying to do a podcast with a conversation with that. The way Simon did it, if you listen really carefully, he did an intro to a topic, gave his thoughts, and through to either Nathan or myself. Rarely did we sort of jump in on each other because you start talking over each other and the conversation gets mixed up. Simon did that really, really, really well. He's a great interviewer too, so. No, I think if someone was to produce a new Zwiftcast and they need a panelist to come in and just talk shit, happy to talk shit all day long. That's what I do. Occasionally I ride bikes too. Occasionally. V5 belt on the Kicker should be silent. Shouldn't make a rubbing noise. If it's cold and you're just starting, it might give a bit of a squeak. But shouldn't squeak as you're riding it. Shouldn't sound like you're murdering mice. 3 top climbing routes on Zwift to improve your climbing game. Reverse epic com. It's steeper than the forward epic com, but it's broken up into little sections, which is really handy. Hello. So I like reverse epic KOM. It'll take you around, well, whatever it takes you, but it will split up into 4 sections. For me, it's almost like a 5x5 effort in sim mode. Rather than just watching the line in erg and going, oh, I've got another 2.5 minutes exactly at exactly this wattage. You can ride a reverse epic KOM, get a very similar workout, but it's more dynamic, that you have to change through the gears and you have to just look at what's coming up. You don't quite know the next corner is going to take you 45 seconds or 45.3 seconds. It'll take you till, well, however long until you get there. So it's kind of, I'll repeat to the radio tower, oof. Radio tower is too steep. If you want to kick a bike, oh, hello. Hello, Naked HD XYZ. Wet girls are here, bro. Hey, dude, wet bros are here too. Fuck off, mate. Go fuck yourself. Oh, did you make me miss the pace button? You fucker. You absolute dumb shit. That was me being a smartass though. Hey, but Dorothy, let's go. How does YouTube allow that? Let's just sit back and admire the fact that YouTube automated systems allow that. Come here, Dorothy. That's my instant karma for swearing, was it? Or taking the piss out of a porn spam bot. I was being a wet bro. Ah, Jesus. I think the last time I had to tee off on someone was when I was walking around Vegas doing a live stream. All right. Live streams with wet bros. Thank you. I've blocked them. The restream service I'm using to go both to Twitch and to YouTube allows me to block back to YouTube. I mean, I get the scaling problem that YouTube has in dealing with bots, but I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it, really? Were the emojis even female? Or are they generic? I mean, if you're going to be doing porn spam, I mean, you're 90% there, you idiot. I hope Dorothy's the slowest of them all. I'm done for the night. Wet bros go slow. Anyway. Let's have a look at some average power numbers. Well, we've got max on the screen now. We've got... So recording with 3 head units tonight. One for the trainer, one for the Asioma Uno, one for the 4Ice. All over Ant Plus. Ant Plus, that open standard. Max speed, average power, there we go. Ooh! Oh, 1 for 1. For the last 45 minutes after a stop and zero, we are 178 average on both meters. Now, overall averaging can be misleading, depending on how many stops and starts that you have. That's looking pretty good, given erg mode is usually me just riding non-stop. Cool, cool. Let's go, chat. I'm here. Any questions on the videos this week? Difficult for me to talk about what's coming up if it's under embargo or if it's a pre-release or anything like that, so it can be difficult for me to project on what's coming in the future. Covering the last few videos that I've done, Varia radar camera, I'm still using it. The app got a small update the other day, didn't fix any of the problems that I had. As soon as they are fixed or the user experience changes for the better, I'll recover that. It'll be a small view video because people don't want to know about when things that work. But out of respect for Garmin sending that over for review, I'll continue to cover that. So keep an eye on the videos for that. The image quality, I've done a few tests with that. Okay, here's an update. Fly 6 cyclic. But I had a... If you're really committed and you saw the end of my video on the radar, you know that I would have added some commentary around my thoughts on the Fly 6 stuff. To their credit, they reached out and said, hey, okay, you've said that about our product. Can we send you the latest generation? And give us some feedback. I'm like, okay, I will. I had a Gen 2 Fly 6, which I tried to get tech support for a while back. I was denied tech support because the unit they supplied for review was no longer under warranty. It was a really weird interaction. They've resolved that. I had to chat to them about that. But Fly 6 have supplied that camera for me to get my hands across. What would be interesting, and if I really want to bore the pants off everybody, but keep myself occupied for the day, I was thinking of doing Fly 6, latest version, Garmin on the back, RCT715, 100 car passes, right around Ballarat, or wherever. Grab 100 car passes. It's tricky with privacy because I'll be looking at people's car plate numbers, but hey. And then try and pick all the number plates. How many can I successfully pick? There's also a number plate registry lookup that I can see is the model of car correct. And do that for 100 cars. It's something more I could do in a live stream though, where I just sit there and chat to everyone and we can all guess the numbers all at once. But I thought that would be interesting just from a technical point of view. Not really a review. And it would be very, very boring. But I'm keen to know, what are the stats? What else? Markov, I mentioned before, have reached out after my review. Markov, I do like that Markov are making cycling products. They're not making polo products. They're not making yachting products. They're not making things that I don't deal with. They're in my area, our area. If you're watching me ride a bike indoors, you're a crazy bike nut too. They just made that out of the wrong material. And there's no question about it being the wrong material. None at all. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an expert. But I can test the absolute crap out of things to make sure it does what it says on the box. And that literally did not do what was on the back of the box. And they had their heads up. They want to have a chat with me next week. Kudos to them. Let's see what comes of that. They're valves, tubeless valves. Very good. What else? Obviously the hammerhead Shimano stuff as well. Look, quickly on that, we're still waiting to hear from Shimano. It'd be nice to get some clarity from their side. Their silence at the moment and the very strong wording of where the issue lies from hammerhead/SRAM, not looking good for Shimano. I'm not saying, I'm not going to buy Shimano anymore. That's not the level that I'm taking it to. I did give both Shimano the heads up, and Hammerhead knew the feedback was what was going to be. My read on news is usually pretty good. Well, it's pretty obvious. The feedback was going to be. Some lights, yes. They were the Magicshine 8000S. Those things. Wow. I've done a few rides with those, a few sneaky rides. They're meant to be 8000 lumen, which is just an insane amount of light. I think car headlights are, 1200, 1300, 1400, 1800. When I'm riding along and a car goes past, I look over at a car's headlights and the pool of light, I guess you'd call it, it's nothing compared to what this bike light does. It's got a massive battery on it. It is huge, but it turns night into day. It's just phenomenal. So yeah, I will be doing a review of that. It probably won't be in the next week or two. I'm doing some travel. Stay tuned for that. There's some fine to get on a plane. I'm not going to reveal where just yet. Follow along my Insta. It's going to be fun. I get to catch up with two very, very good friends of mine. So, and very good friends that everybody on here has as well. So trust me, you'll stick around. We're traveling again soon. It's going to be great. So I've got that coming up. I won't be covering the lights until probably after that. One thing with the lights, and people who ride at night with lights and mountain bikes will already know this, but if you're looking at gravel bikes or bike lights and riding and really beefing your lights up, a massive, I won't confirm or deny it with the answer then. If you get a massive light on the front of your bike and you're riding in the middle of nowhere with nothing for the light to bounce back on, the light doesn't do a very good job because there's nothing for it to actually reflect back onto you from. So you can have as much, think of the sun in outer space. Like if the sun's behind you and you look out that way, you can't see anything because there's nothing bouncing back. Same deal with having a big epic light. As long as the light spreads far enough in front of you, you can see everything where you're riding. It'll do a good job. And that's what that light does. But it's definitely overkill. And it just smashes cars to bits. And it's also really hard. Sorry to bang on about the lights. It's hard to take a photo of because the camera will really light things up. If you look at my Instagram from the other week, I've got a really good picture of it, but it is a little enhanced because the camera will do a low light shot. Your eyes will also get adjusted to whatever light they've got. Humans are fascinating devices. So if you're riding in low light, your eyes will adjust and that will be okay for you. But if you turn that brightness right up and really brighten what's in front of you, you'll get, again, used to that. But it's, bike light technology, just, it's cool. It's super cool. Cars coming towards me. Out of respect for cars, I always low beam the thing. Not a lot of cars have come past me either. I've been on gravel or back roads. But have a look at my Insta from, hang on, I'll see if I can pull up. It's just phenomenal. Not sure if I have, do I have Instagram on this older phone? The phone that I have here that I'm hiding away just for now, I have it's an iPhone 6. So support for this phone is disappearing from Zwift on August 1st, I believe, or the August update. That's Von walk. Oh, it might be me. I'm not sure it's Von or I walking with the bike light. Literally, that I can't make it any bigger than that. That's literally the light on top of Max's pram. So, riding through the bush on gravel tracks, not a problem. There's the crock pot that I've got. That's coming up too. We'll do some hot pot and max melt. I won't melt my son. Cool story about this shot here. This was 2 weeks prior to that device being launched. On the top of the hill were 2 riders coming the other way who knew me and said g'day as they rode past. Had they have stopped, they would have no doubt seen that new Varia radar camera on the bike 2 weeks prior to release. Lucky for me, they didn't. So if you ever see me riding around, I'll try and hide things. New Di2 group set. Let's do story time with Llama here. There's a new Shimano Ultegra Di2 that I finally sourced all the parts for. Keen to get that upgraded. Another bike light shot there. That's the radar on the back, radar light on the back, and the Magicshine on the front there. I love that shot. That looks really cool. 129 other people like that. Okay, so not a lot of other people like that shot. I like that shot. Other stories while we're here. That's a Zip 303 Firecrest replaced by SRAM under warranty because I cracked the rim. And then the Cinturato. Anybody going once, going twice? Hard pack. Cinturato, we'll go with that. That I used here on the gravel ride. Look at that. That's why I ride gravel. We've got those kind of gravel roads to ride on. It is just magic. So good. And there's the beautiful one. Right, there we go. Story time with Llama. Yeah, I love that photo too. I thought Most of my stuff's just boring. Here's a bike, or here's the track that I'm doing, or here's a shot of something or other, just to keep people across what I'm up to. But that bike one, I thought that was a bit arty. Obviously, I'm not. My eye is no good at what's a good shot or not. Oh, hello, BBD. The camera was leaked a few days before. Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult for companies to release product, have them in store available as soon as the embargo lifts, and not have things leak. But out of respect for companies that supply things for review, I won't cover leaks or anything like that. I'll wait for things to go live. This is cool. So there are so many pace partners now that one just comes along, or I can just jump onto one. Who am I on? Have I been dropped and caught again or something? This works. Yeah, mildly awkward not to talk about. Hello. Like, I think people know that. I mean, there's things that I don't get access to that I know that I've leaked that I won't talk about. But I think people respect that they know that I've either got something new or something is coming, and I probably do have it. And asking me the question and me being silent about it is just awkward. But it's also on the companies to make sure things are tight. Dealers, if they have them in store, should be under NDAs or agreements or something. It's nice to release. If you release, hey, something's new today, and everyone knows, it's lost its shine. No, didn't consider ant at all when choosing front lights. Ant plus light control is not that great. I'll go to 50k, so I'll write this up shortly. So if you have any questions, fire through. So no, as long as I've got a visual in front of me that the bike has charge or the light's on, or I can change the up and down, I didn't worry too much about having ant on or off. I also change podcast dude, yep, send me an email. Happy to jump on. I change head units a lot, so having everything paired to certain lights and turning one head unit on and the lights will turn on in another room, it's a little bit awkward. Will Jai take the jersey off Carapaz tonight, Chris? Oh mate, as an Aussie, I'd love to see that. But Ineos, I don't think he'll put time in Ineos. But I mean, yeah, be a great story. I'll see if I can stay awake to watch that one. Good stuff though that Pro Tour Racing's back on in full force. Looking at carbon wheels, Reynolds or Envy, I don't have experience with any. I've only ridden older Reynolds ones. Chris, cool. There's your email for everyone to see on stream. Only ridden older Reynolds ones. Envy Von, my Mrs. Llama rides Envy wheels. I can talk about, I've had good experience with Hunt wheels, Scribe, the Zip 454, which are just insanely nice wheels to ride. I've got the Zip 454s, NSWs with 28mm GP5000 STRs. The 28mm pump out to 30mm. I run them at 59 and 61 PSI because they're hookless, tubeless. And oh man, I don't care if they're faster or slower, they're just nice to ride. Yeah, phenomenal. I'm not sure about the Reynolds or the Envy. Look, I'm a fan of wider internals, probably 21s or 23 internals for road with 28mm tyres. For the roads here, again, it depends on where you're riding. If it's nice and smooth, get away with 19s, 21s internals. On 25s, nice and fast. It depends what you're after. If you're after pure speed, pure aerodynamics, everything as a first priority, then you can do a ton of research. Look at the, is it the 105% rule for tire size versus rim width, external rim width, all that sort of stuff. You can get right into it, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's nice to have a Porsche or a Ferrari and drive at 60 k's an hour. Just cruising. Look, Scribe have been fine. The Scribe wheels we had, I had set up as road wheels for the gravel bike for a couple of rides. They were cool. We'd set them up as, I emailed Scribe and said, hey, the wheels you sent over, can I use those as gravel wheels? They're like, not designed for it. They're not saying no. So Vaughn had them on her gravel bike and they held up really, really well. I think there's a lot of wheel manufacturers out there who make or source good components and put them together. So for wheels, we're spoilt for choice. We really are. The ICAM wheels that I've got, the 650Bs, super cheap. We saw the bearings blow out on just one side of that, of the ICAM wheels. And I've done the video on that, of replacing the cartridge bearings. But the wheels are brilliant. One thing with the wheels though, if you're gonna go with wheels, check the warranty. Speaking from experience. And when I get around to it, I'll do my video on my breaking my 303 Firecrest, just riding along. And yes, I will use that in the title, I was just riding along, because literally I was just riding along. I have it all on camera. I even have the rock. I've identified the rock that I hit that cracked the rim. I've got it all covered. That's a good story. So my point there is check the warranty on the rims. Zip on the 2022 wheels and beyond have a just riding along replacement warranty. And I put that to the test. I do respect that me submitting a ticket saying, hey, I need to warranty these wheels. It will pop up as Gplama or Shane Miller. That may influence the service. People said, hey, you should do it under an alias. The wheels weren't registered under an alias. So I get that if I got preferential treatment. However, if there were no wheels in stock, I would not have a wheel. There were wheels in stock. One day turn around, I'll do a whole video on it. I've got my Insta story saved where I hit the rock. I can show you the rock that I hit. Dwayne Johnson does make an appearance as the rock in this video. And then I stop and I thought, oh, well, it's just a pinch flat, let's fix that. And then it's a, oh shit, the rim is cracked. Can I get home? And you'll see where I pour coffee on it. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's not what you're paying for in a physical sense, but it's what you're not paying for in the future. It's going to be a tricky one. Some people like warranties, some people don't. For something as cheap as the ICAN wheels, what were they, $650 US? Something like that. You're almost willing to go, look, that's a lot cheaper than anything else that's out there. If I get these, go full send, crack the rim, so be it. I'll get another wheel or replace it. But if you're getting something really, really nice, it's just nice to have nice equipment. World Tour relegation, yeah, look. Bro, I think there's definitely a case for I like the whole system, if that's what I'm thinking of. You're talking about the system. If you don't accumulate enough points, then you get relegated. Teams performing better. It encourages teams to perform, attend more races, get the points, rather than just cherry pick. I think Lotto Sudar. Oh, hey, Naked Girls. Hey, girls here, Naked New Zealand, you're back. Hey, mate, are you a subscriber to the channel? Because if you subscribe, you hang around, but if you're just a porn spammer, you can just fuck off. See you, mate. Thanks for your comments, you dickhead. Why do spammers? I've got 128 viewers. Piss off over to Twitch, you dickhead. There are chicks in hot tubs with 30,000 viewers. Or don't you like the competition with other spammers? Are you a proprietary spammer? I've just Shimano'd you. Anyhow, it's Saturday night. Sweaty Bros Day. Okay, Wilson, I love the question. That is great. And let me cover this. What video topic has been sitting on my backlog for the longest? Now out of interest. I have videos that have been sitting on my backlog so long that they now are out of interest, that no one will care about. I actually have a video like Kicker versus Neo. I have a video on that ready to roll. But the Kicker keeps changing and no one's asking the question anymore. One I've got to do, and I know is going to be well received by the people who have a radar, is that My Bike Radar Connect IQ app or data field. It's a data field that will show you on screen and record the car speed coming behind you, and it will do a car counter. So it will tell me, 100 cars have passed in this ride, or you look down, beep beep. Okay, that car's doing 140 kilometers per hour behind you. There's a Connect IQ data field that works with all radars, the RTL 500 through to the RTL 515, 516 as well, the RVR and now the RCT, that will count cars. It'll record their speeds in 10-meter increments, I think, as it comes up behind you. It records that in a fit file. If anything ever happens to you out on the road, you have the speed of that car recorded on your head unit. Freaking phenomenal. Something that Garmin should have on their head units by default. Super cool. Love it. Some people will say, who gives a shit? If a car's going to hit you, you're going to die anyway. Sure. But it's better to have the data if it costs you nothing to save and nothing to install this. Super cool. So that's one of the things that's been on my backlog for a long time that I use every single ride. What you can do, look at that, another Pace Partner ride. They're huge. Or was that, there was no Pace Partner with that. That was something different. It was limited to just head units that support that Connect IQ field. So you're looking at possibly the 520, 530. It's a Garmin thing because someone has written it. But if you then upload your activity file to this service, it will put a map on screen. Ray has covered it a while ago over on dcofamaker.com, but there's been a few upgrades to the data field since then. So I'll do a refresher of that. I've been meaning to go out and plant a radar on the side of the road and drive past it at a number of different speeds just to test the speed to see if it's wildly inaccurate or wildly accurate. I'm assuming it's pretty accurate. It's called, actually Neil, I'll put a link in chat. I covered it just quickly on my video during this Festive 500. I'm just Googling. This is hands down a must-have. Rarely do I get excited about an app or have a look at this one. I'm not sure if anyone has the ability to post URLs. Let me know if that's posted to the chat. It looks like it has here if you can click on that. That's what's to search for. 21,800 downloads, 5 point something stars. Rating just... Now what it allows you to do, and you'll see it on the main screen. Sorry, I should have a web browser on here to talk people through stuff that I'm looking at on the web. The mybiketraffic.com site allows you to upload your fit files later on and see exactly where the car's passed. You can click on where the car's passed and see their speed data, say from 140 meters, 130 meters, 120 meters. And I could tell, I got buzzed by a car once, and I could tell that it was first detected 140 meters back at 100 kilometers per hour. They passed me at 140. So they put the foot down. I had the proof. I had it on camera too. Had they have hit me, brushed me, been any worse, that's what I would have taken and complained about or put an official word in. Again, rarely do I report things to the police unless it is criminal. But it's cost you nothing to put that field on. You have to have the field active in your profile. So if you have the Connect IQ data fields, I'll cover this in a video. This is why I need to cover it in a video. There's so many gotchas for it. If you have that Connect IQ data field on in, say, your gravel bike field, but don't have it on the road bike field or profile, and you ride with your road bike, it won't record the data. So you can put it on a screen in the background somewhere or just on a field, and you'll get total cars that have passed or total detections by your radar. It might even be another rider coming up, even a false positive. Have never had a false negative though. Something always triggers it. Something's always doing it. You'll get last vehicle pass speed, and you'll get current vehicle speed coming at you. And you can have that as either relative or another group of how busy are the bots. That's cool. What I find cool is if it goes, as soon as you get a detection, you can look straight down and say, okay, if it's red, you know the car's going above 80 kilometers an hour or something. You can look down, 140, shit, you need to do something about that. If you look down and it's only, if you're in 80 zone and the car's doing 95, you might want to have a quick look back. But regardless, if anything happens, you've got a record of a car speed coming behind you with any radar. Super, super cool. Love it. I asked Garmin about adding that functionality to the radar as an overlay. That would make complete sense. As soon as that car pops up a detection, there's no reason why the radar couldn't just put that information on screen. Even if there's multiple dots selected, it could say, okay, this car's going this fast, and put that on screen as an overlay. I think you're right though about the legality issues of that. That's why I want to go out and test the accuracy. Even though it doesn't really matter how accurate it is, it seems to be pretty good for what I do. In an 80 zone, I'll look down, cars are usually doing 80, 82, 83. 60 zone, they're never doing more than 60 most of the time. Super cool, super cool. If you have a Garmin, install it. That Garmin should license that dude's work. Garmin Rally pedals are still in the lab long term. Okay, on the Garmin Rally pedals, yes, they're still under testing. 2 weeks ago went out, I installed the Rally in the XC200 version, so the SPD version. I ripped out a sprint of 1250 watts, and I was able to do that shifting or drifting offset issue where I'd ride along and the numbers were good. I'd rip a sprint, and then the numbers were higher or lower, I can't remember which one, but the offset was changed after a sprint. I'd stop, I'd zero just the pedals, and then they'd come back into line with the meter that was on the bike. I've still got issues with that. So they're not in my good books still. I can use them to compare other meters too if I stop and zero them a lot. Which sucks. I'd love them to be brilliant pedals, but for what I do, that's a bit of a problem. The Q factor of the RCM Duo Shis doesn't cause a knee issue for me. I get a small niggle, but I adapt pretty quick. Again, as Ray has said in his videos, people jump between road bikes, mountain bikes, spin bikes with different Q factors. That's cool. And they don't blow out their knees. I just don't like making my road bike feel like a mountain bike. It's also cornering clearance. That's changed. The cornering clearance of a spin bike doesn't matter. You're not tipping that thing in. The cornering clearance of a road bike does. And I can absolutely feel, I've ridden road bikes for years and years and years, and TT bikes, and dialed everything with my knees and how they track. And a 26mm change is very, very obvious for my riding. So I have them, I still use them every now and then, the RCM Duo Shis for power testing if they're nearby. I know they're accurate for what they do. I just don't like making my road bike a mountain bike. Not a fan. I still think, and I've hung my hat on the statement that it's a lazy engineering decision passed on to all of the end users. People, you might be able to ride them fine. People might like them. That's okay. I get that. That's cool. And it's not going to blow knees out. Maybe not. But no company's making really, really wide pedals and just saying, oh, fuck it. There you go. Our pedals are 65mm. Yeah, you'll be fine. No, companies are making normal pedals in a standard Q factor range between 52 and 55. Not 65 or 66. Just because they can or because they do. It's an engineering problem that just wasn't solved. That's my beef. I wish they had to spend a little bit more time on it. Wilson, you are using the data field. Fantastic. Awesome. It clears the zero count if your sensors drop out. Okay. I also noticed that it goes blank if you've got auto pause on too. Check the settings, Wilson. Have a look at the settings. Jump into your Connect IQ app. So start your Garmin, jump into Connect IQ, or sorry, Garmin Connect. Or Connect, whichever one. I can't recall. You can do some additional configuration of the data field. So that maybe you're setting there to not reset or not re-zero. Having it drop out's a bit of a problem though. If naked cores continue to Oh, I shouldn't have blocked them. They're probably more entertaining than I am tonight. We've almost done 60 Ks. I said 50. I think Maxie's asleep. We're good. Audible cues to alert you of excessive speed would be amazing. It does. I'm not sure the sound changes, but on screen there is a differentiation between a normal car speed which goes orange and a car that is going a lot faster than, I think it's over 80 or over 80 or over 50, different to what you're doing. The screen will go red. I'm not sure if the alert changes though. I'll know if I heard it, but so there is an excessive speed warning if something's going quite quick. Yeah, Garmin are across my feedback on the Auto Zero calibration. They did look, if you're playing the long game, I had some issues with leaving my bike in the sun in the summer here. One side of the bike in the sun, the other side in the shade because of where the sun was. And the pedals, the rallies, auto zeroed themselves with one being really, really hot. Hot Aussie sun, like it's hot to touch. It auto zeroed when it was hot to touch. The other one wasn't that hot. And then as I rode off, the power numbers were out. So they are addressing that though, which is good. The new Synapse, what's the whole bike? Was it the Cannondale whole integrated bike thing? The answer there is no, because I'm questioning what it even is. If that was the bike with the radar on the back and all that, looks cool. I don't think it does anything other than what I already have with the radar and a DI2 and other things. I can still hear Maxie. He's not in bed yet. Shit. Okay, we'll go to 60 Ks and we'll be done. Thanks for the chat though. I do appreciate it. I love the questions. This is definitely live. If you have anything to throw my way, go for it. I've had, weirdly, a lot of shit thrown my way for my video on Shimano and the hammerhead stuff. My goal there was, I don't support locking people out of function and functionality that I cover and that I use myself. That's pretty shit. I think Shimano should have done just a bit of a take back of, can we put the customer first, and can we put our commercial arrangements to the side that doesn't affect the customer, and the customer that does affect, as Ray's pointed out, it only affects Shimano customers. People will pay the money. How bizarre is that? Does it give Hammerhead access to any proprietary information on Shimano about their shifting? No, it's just a sensor. It's just a simple sensor. Well, it's a complex sensor, but it's not the shifting subsystem. It doesn't give access to firmware, source code. Hammerhead/SRAM already have the access. This doesn't make sense. We're still waiting on Shimano to make a statement about this. Hammerhead were quite damning and quite strong, as I read out on screen in my video. But apparently, according to some people who no longer have the privileges of commenting on my content, wanted to argue the fact that I was being dishonest and short-sighted in my coverage of that. I would understand a tit-for-tat retaliation from SRAM. Let's say Shimano comes out with a head unit based on the junky Pioneer head unit. I've got one floating around here somewhere. You don't want it. SRAM could say, hey, well, you're not getting access to this to pair to the axis sensor. But I think SRAM's probably bigger than that, as in they don't need to do that. Because SRAM want to support SRAM users. Why is Shimano not supporting Shimano users? People have said, oh, well, it makes sense because they're competitors. Yeah, but... yeah, it's not like Shimano make a head unit, correct, but Hammerhead are owned by SRAM. They're a competitor there. But then, in the same breath, Wahoo owns Speedplay. That's a competitor to Shimano pedals. Wahoo make PowerLink. That's a competitor to the Shimano Power Meter. Garmin make a Power Meter. Garmin make pedals. List goes on. Don't know. I just don't want it to set a precedent, and hopefully I can add just a small amount of noise to the issue. As I said, I didn't have a call to action in that video to, hey, contact SRAM support or contact Hammerhead. Just comment below. If they want to know, they can read my comment. 2 reasons for that. One, doesn't get me in the shit if people start harassing SRAM and then their lawyers can turn around and say to me, well, I caused this harassment, blah, blah. I've been through enough shit for putting chevrons on a shirt. Like that, I don't need to deal with that. So I tried to, out of respect, say, look, keep it in-house here. Let us know your thoughts below. And people have. Doesn't need to be that way. And as I commented on GCN's video, if you look at the timing of it, GCN had a paid product advertisement, which is okay, that's what they do, for Shimano yesterday. And my first comment was, one similarity between the 2 group sets you're reviewing is they won't connect to the hammerhead unit. And I put in there, hey, there's still time for them to reverse this and change their mind. There's a lot more to it. Kiwi Pete, Ray and I have been having a few conversations about other things, but another thing that I've also discussed earlier on is, let's just say, it's only a sensor pairing, that's all, it's not much to it. Imagine if Garmin just stopped everyone pairing to their heart rate monitors. Whatever, heart rate monitor. It's kind of exactly like that. Or more accurately, it's like connecting to, say, Strava's API with a private key, and then you can only query what the API allows you to get. It's exactly the same as with this sensor. Let's say somebody, for accessibility reasons, and I've said this before, if you're hanging around, I appreciate you watching the video for so long. If someone was on a hand cycle, and I've seen one of Australia's top hand cycles uses Di2 for remote control of his head unit. Your hand cycle, you don't have time to swipe. You can remotely control stuff. There's bigger reasons to put the customer first than just your fucking company policy or your forging of agreements. People are using this technology and supporting your company. I don't know. I'm too invested in, as I said before, in a problem that's not mine. But I wanted to add my voice to it to be heard. Fabian, the newish Stages Dash head units. I have the M200 and the L200. I've got to get off the bike soon. I'll be in trouble. I'm waiting on firmware update number 2 for those. I'm having, here in Australia, with those new Stages and Giant units, GPS tracking issues with the satellite networks that it uses. And I'm having issues with power recording with some sticky watt stuff. So I'm deep in the weeds with the Stages Dash head units. More on that soon, I hope. There is cross compatibility between SRAM, Zip, and Shimano and wheels and all that. Yep, totally. One funny thing is, if you look at the one of the cassettes I pulled off a trainer the other day, it's the NX Eagle, the really cheap Eagle 1050 cassette that is HG compatible. But nowhere in the documentation will you see the word Shimano. All you see is splined compatible, I think, or it's a splined interface. So the legalities of it is that you can't, I'll make another link in a sec to this. It was difficult for me to really know, is that the right cassette for me to be buying to run my gravel bike, which is Axis, Eagle Axis, on the back? Is that the right cassette for a Shimano free hub? Wasn't quite sure because I didn't put the word in there because of the trademark. Similar to Markov not putting the word Apple or AirTag on their Apple AirTag secure holder. I mean, come on. Come on. It keeps me in a job though, trying to explain this shit. It's so deep in the weeds. I get that. I get that. It's this channel it's never going to be as big as GCN or other channels because I get deep in the weeds of shit that doesn't really matter. But it's the stuff that I really, really care about and I actually have hands on. Like the hammerhead stuff, I use that shit. I'm not just covering it on a news site or doing it for clicks, although the clicks were handy yesterday. That's good revenue from YouTube, thank you. But I use this stuff. We'll go to 2 hours. Anyhow, I could talk this stuff all night long. As I said, get me on a Zwiftcast or a podcast and I'll go non-stop. Yeah, thank you for the kind words on the Markov stuff. Markov have reached out after that. And kudos to them. Kudos to them. They want to have a conference call next week. But as I was saying before, I don't set out to piss anyone off. I just want to know if things work or not. And if things work brilliantly, the radar. Have you heard me bang on about the radar? Like, I love that shit. Love it. Changes my experience on the bike. Hammerhead's climber, the predictive path stuff. Love it. Absolutely love it. But if something doesn't work, or the marketing doesn't match what the product actually is, I'll cover it. If Markov just made it out of plastic, it'd be fine. I do appreciate that people like some of the nitty gritty. Hopefully it sets my content just a little bit apart. Ray and I do like a lot of the stuff together. We're really good mates. I think both of us released a video at exactly the same time on the Shimano hammerhead stuff. And I think we were the only two at the time to go straight live with it. So Ray and I kind of compete there for views. But I appreciate people watch both of our stuff. It's not just one or the other. And a lot of the times we're in parallel, but yeah, give our own take in a different angle. So that's cool. But if you follow me along on Strava, Instagram, Twitter, probably not Twitter so much these days, no one's on Twitter except Elon Musk, you'll see that I really, really ride this shit. I live and breathe this stuff. And we're here at 8:42 on a Saturday night and I'm still power meter testing some firmware that dropped a couple of hours ago. Let's go to 63 Ks. Brian, we could speculate on a million things of why Shimano have done what they've done. What would be really nice for the multi-billion-dollar valued Shimano company with a large PR and legal department, it would be nice if they could just let us know what's gone on. Jimmy, stay tuned. Stay tuned. We have tickets. We have tickets to a very far away place. Oops, 13K's too much. I better call it a night there, guys. Hey, look, thanks so much for the chat. It's a good session. We've done a Llama Lab Test. I've got a ton of good data. I've got my write-in for the day. We've got some content on YouTube. We've had a chat to everyone. Hopefully you've enjoyed some background between other things about what's going on the channel and what's coming up. There's always, like, whenever I put a video out, there's always a story behind it or a story after it. Some of the times it's quite interesting. As I said, Markov have reached out. I'm still trying to get a lot more info out of Hammerhead about exactly what's going on, but I appreciate they don't have to give me all the nitty-gritty of what took place between them and Shimano. The communication following putting a video out like that is pretty cool. I've got to say as well, there are a lot of really, really good people in the industry who back the end user and what we want. And there are people doing a lot of hard work behind. I know this sounds generic and shitty, but just for some insight, somebody you know who's super technical, who I've referred to quite often on this channel, has done some amazing work on some of the areas that I've been speaking about lately. And hopefully we'll see that come to light soon. So whilst you see me get frustrated as all shit on a lot of things, hopefully what I do just like sets a spark or sets a light or sets an idea off that we all can have better products or have better time on the bike. How are we doing, Vaughn? Maxi down? Maxi's asleep. Time to go and watch the new Stranger Things. It's out. Everybody, again, thank you so much for coming along. This ride has extended itself way beyond what I thought it should. I apologise to Vaughn for that. Stay tuned this week. Coming up, some interesting stuff that you'll want to see. Hit subscribe, hit like, and we'll be back soon with some more rides. Take care, have a good weekend, and we'll